The boat sitting in a warehouse in Jacksonville has never touched water. It rolled off the production line 14 months ago. A 24-foot center console, dual outboards, the kind of boat that retails for somewhere around $80,000. Last week, a forklift loaded it onto a flatbed truck. It wasn't heading to a dealership. It wasn't heading to a boat show. It was heading to a scrap facility in rural Georgia, where an excavator with a hydraulic crusher attachment reduced it to fiberglass shards and twisted aluminum in under 4 minutes. This wasn't a defective unit. This wasn't a warranty return. The hull was pristine. The engines had never been started. Every system worked exactly as designed. Someone made a deliberate financial decision that crushing this boat was more profitable than selling it. And it's not just about the money. There is a manufacturing secret hiding in these hulls that builders are terrified you'll find out about. This is happening across the recreational marine industry right now, not at the scale of dozens, at the scale of hundreds, possibly thousands. Brand new boats being destroyed because the math says destruction is the smart move. That math tells you everything about how the boat market actually works in 2026. To understand why a bank would order the destruction of a perfectly good boat, you need to understand floor plan financing. When you walk into a boat dealership and see 40 boats sitting in the showroom in the yard, the dealership probably does not own most of them. A finance company does, usually a bank or a specialized marine lender. The manufacturer builds the boat. The dealer wants to display and sell it, but the dealer does not have $800,000 to buy 20 boats outright. So the finance company steps in, purchases the inventory from the manufacturer, and lets the dealer display and sell it. The dealer pays interest on each boat every month until it sells. This is floor plan financing. It is how the majority of recreational vehicle dealers operate. Boats, RVS, and power sports dealers use it. The dealer is essentially renting their own inventory from a bank. When the boat sells, the dealer pays off the floor plan balance plus accumulated interest, keeps their margin, and everyone's happy. When the boat does not sell, interest keeps accruing. An $80,000 boat becomes an $84,000 boat, then an $88,000 boat. The dealer's margin shrinks, then disappears, then goes negative. Most floor plan agreements include a curtailment schedule. After 12 to 18 months, the finance company starts demanding principal payments whether the boat sells or not. The dealer owes the bank money on inventory that is not moving. If the dealer cannot make those payments, the finance company repossesses the inventory. The bank takes the boats back. Now the bank owns boats. Banks do not want to own boats. Banks want to own loans that generate interest payments. A boat sitting in a repossessed inventory lot is a depreciating asset that needs insurance, storage, and eventual liquidation. This is where manufacturer buyback clauses enter the picture. Major boat manufacturers have agreements with floor plan lenders that require them to repurchase inventory under certain conditions. If a dealer defaults, goes out of business, or inventory ages past a certain threshold, the manufacturer has to buy back unsold boats from the finance company. This protects the banks. They know that even in a worst-case scenario, they are not stuck holding fiberglass. But think about what this means for the manufacturer. They built the boat. They sold it to the floor plan company. The dealer could not sell it. Now the manufacturer has to buy it back at the original wholesale price. They are buying their own boat twice. They now own a 14-month-old boat that has been sitting in a dealer lot. It is not new anymore. Market conditions have changed. Maybe they have released an updated model. What do they do with it? Manufacturers call it brand value protection. One steep discount on last year's model, and every buyer waiting to purchase the new model starts holding out for deals. Dealers cannot move current inventory. They demand price protection. They threaten to drop the brand. They cancel orders for next year's production. Everyone in the chain has a financial incentive to keep prices high, even if that means destroying inventory rather than selling it. So the manufacturer repurchases aged boats from the floor plan company. Instead of liquidating them at auction or wholesaling them to budget dealers, they send them to destruction. The boat gets crushed. The manufacturer writes off the loss. The tax treatment of destroyed inventory differs from heavily discounted sales. The math works. The market price for remaining inventory stays intact. The current situation is made worse by what happened between 2020 and 2023. When the pandemic hit, people suddenly wanted boats. Desperately. Boat sales spiked over 30% in some segments. Dealers could not keep inventory on the lot. Manufacturers ramped up production, added shifts, opened new facilities. By 2022, manufacturers were building boats faster than at any point in industry history. They were projecting sustained demand. They were loading up dealer networks with inventory. Then 2023 arrived. Interest rates climbed. Inflation squeezed household budgets. The people who wanted boats and could afford them had already bought during the boom years. Demand collapsed. By mid-2024, dealer inventory levels were sitting at 18 to 24 months of supply. In a healthy market, dealers want 8 to 12 months. Double that creates exactly the floor plan pressure we have been discussing. The boats built for a market that no longer exists are now aging on dealer lots, accumulating interest, triggering curtailment schedules, and heading to scrap facilities. Now here is what manufacturers do not want you to know. There is a darker reason they are specifically targeting these 2022 and 2023 production boats for the crusher. They know what they built. These are what industry insiders have started calling pandemic boats. They came off production lines during the worst supply chain crisis in modern manufacturing history. Marine-grade adhesives were back-ordered for months. Resin prices tripled and manufacturers quietly switched to whatever formulations they could actually get. Skilled fiberglass laminators quit for better-paying construction jobs and were replaced by workers with 6 weeks of training. The boats built during this window look fine on the outside. They passed quality control. They have serial numbers and warranty cards. But the people who built them know what corners got cut. They know about the substituted materials. They know about the rushed curing times. They know about the welders working double shifts and making mistakes that got patched over instead of redone. Manufacturers are looking at these pandemic boats and doing a calculation that has nothing to do with brand value protection. They are calculating warranty exposure. A boat sold today comes with a 5-year structural warranty, sometimes longer. If these pandemic boats get into customers' hands, the warranty claims start rolling in around 2027. Delamination, gel coat failures, transom flex, the kind of structural issues that cost tens of thousands to repair under warranty. Multiply that across hundreds or thousands of units, and the warranty reserve requirements alone could crater quarterly earnings. Crushing them is not just about protecting current model pricing. It is about destroying the evidence of the worst manufacturing era in marine industry history. Every pandemic boat that goes to the scrapyard is a warranty claim that will never get filed, a lawsuit that will never get deposited, a quality control failure that will never show up in consumer reviews. The boats heading to crushers right now are not random excess inventory. They are specifically the production runs that manufacturers are most desperate to keep out of customer hands. There is an environmental cost to this that nobody discusses publicly. Fiberglass does not recycle easily. An excavator crushing a boat in a scrapyard is not recovering materials for reuse. It is creating debris that goes into a landfill. These are boats that could have provided 20 years of use to families. Instead, they are waste, because the financing math and the warranty math both dictated that waste was more profitable than sale. If you are shopping for a boat right now, you might have noticed that prices have not come down nearly as much as inventory levels would suggest. The price structure remains remarkably intact because the system is designed to maintain it. The consumer who would have bought a discounted boat, the buyer who is priced out of the market, is being actively excluded so that pricing can stay elevated for buyers who can afford current prices. The system would rather have fewer transactions at higher prices than more transactions at lower prices. This is a choice, not an inevitability. A choice built into contracts, enforced by financing agreements, implemented through destruction. The boats getting crushed in Georgia are not casualties of market forces. They are casualties of a system designed by manufacturers, lenders, and dealers to prioritize price maintenance over market clearing and to bury the evidence of pandemic-era manufacturing failures before customers ever find out. If you found this investigation useful, subscribe. There's more where this came from. The next time you see prices holding firm in a market where common sense says they should be falling, ask who benefits from prices staying high. Ask what's happening to excess inventory. Ask whether destruction is more profitable than discount. Because somewhere right now, another forklift is loading another new boat onto another flatbed. It is heading not to water, but to the crusher.